Right, hello there. This is Remy. Just doing this little video for Agonas. This was some footage from the recent Fantasy Strike tournament. If you look back in my videos, you see that you can watch all my matches. But I thought I'd do a little review of one of my matches and see what happened, and also talk a little bit more about this tournament. So if we get this going, this was my match when I got through to top 8 against Tidazi. As you can see, I'm pretty happy about this. Give me a big thumbs up to the match there. So this tournament, as you'll see here, we're picking our teams, and I'll just stop this for a moment. Right. So okay, just explain about the team battle mode first of all. It's you can watch a Fantasy Strike official video that explains it in full details. Essentially, you have to win once with every one of your characters. So it's kind of like reverse King of Fighters. You can't have one strong character that just wins all the matches. You have to win with all your characters. So you've really got to have a team of 3 that you know what you're doing with. And it randomizes your first matches, so you can't pick the order. It basically means there's no counter picking, and it's a really, really fun format. And every single flaw you might think it has, it doesn't have. It's really well thought out, and I mean, I was convinced it wasn't a good idea when I first heard about it, and then read more about it and watched the video that Serlin put out, and just went, actually, no, this is a fantastically fun format. For me, it's quite interesting. If I just skip back the character select screen a second, of the 10 characters in Fantasy Strike, I've kind of got about 6 of them that I can play around about the same level. So, and there's a handful I'm not so good with, but the team format kind of doesn't really hurt me too much because I don't really have a main. I've kind of jumped around and played a little bit of every character, and I just enjoy playing so many of them. It's good for me. I really love the team format. So I was actually more of a problem of not so much trying to pick 3, but like which 3 I want to pick, because there's so many I could go with. For this whole tournament, you can see I actually run with the team of Midori, Grave, and DeGrey. And there's no order on that, as I say. It's random, so you have to try and just face whatever matchups the game gives you. So why did I pick those guys? Well, Grave I've been playing since the very, very first. The very first Fantasy Strike build ever, so that when there was only Grave. So yeah, I've played him the most basically. He's the character I overall feel the most confident with, and if I had to pick one guy to win a single fight, I would definitely pick Grave. So he's kind of like sort of my main, but he's really not, because I don't think I'm especially good with him anyway. It's just the fact I've got a lot of experience with him. And then I like DeGrey because I find him one of the most fun characters to play with. That's this guy on the right, the lawyer guy, if you don't know the characters too well. He is based around frame trapping, and I play a lot of Street Fighter 5, as you'll also know if you watch my channel. So yeah, that he plays a little bit like a kind of, he's trying to get counter hits, and he gets big damage off counter hits, so that might sound a bit to you like crush counters, when it is, in a way. But it's only this character in this game. Other characters don't get these massive advantages off counter hits, whereas he does. And it really, strangely reminds me of playing Dictator in Street Fighter 5, who's my main in Street Fighter 5. So he's mainly just because I enjoy playing him. There's no really other reason. I enjoy playing loads of the characters, but he's the one that just like I've probably had the most fun with overall. And then so Midori, he isn't, I wouldn't say he's a particularly strong character for me, but he's a character where his super move is to go into dragon form, and I've generally been managed to kind of steal matches against people that I kind of don't think I would have otherwise beaten them by, sometimes by getting a bit lucky by using his dragon form mode. He can do massive damage in small amounts of time. So yeah, he's basically there for like a bit of a kind of comeback factor. And yeah, well, I'm not exactly the best player of Fantasy Strike, as you'll see. So this match was just going into top 8. So I was pretty pleased with my performance already, because I'm not, as I say, I'm not a top player of this game by any means. These people, I mean, probably if you counted every player who ever played the game, I'm probably a pretty good player, like maybe at least average. But against these kind of like the really hardcore players who are playing the early access build constantly, I'm certainly not in their level. So I was pretty chuffed to get this far anyway. And the first match begins with Midori versus Setsuki, which I'm not too incredible about. But yeah, so immediately there, that is actually a bit of a mistake from me. I do land, so that's not a bad start. And then this, like that punch into special combo, I would actually prefer to do 2 punches, the standard move from him. He can also do a combo of just normal into normal. Again, that's a bit of muscle memory because I'm switching between 3 characters. I'm not that used to doing that. I'm kind of doing a standard grave combo there, but with Midori. Luckily, it's still comboed, but yeah, we'll see some more mistakes like this. So as soon as Setsuki gets on me, though, see a different story. So Tidazi there saw I was going for that air splash move, and she's cleverly jumped backwards and punishing my landing basically, and then gets in with first of all a nice combo, and then because she doesn't have a super bar right now, Setsuki can't combo more than 3 without a super. She goes straight into a mix-up, which I am completely unprepared for, and I mean that wasn't even a read. That was just like I didn't see that mix-up coming. So yeah, that she could follow up into that hooligan roll. It's a little bit like Cammy's hooligan roll from HD Remix. So she can follow up different things, and she went into the throw, which I would have had to jump out of that, but seriously, I wasn't even thinking. And now she's got me in the corner, but I get a really nice parry, so I'm in powered form Midori here. Basically means it's equivalent mechanics to kind of the stored Ochio throw from Street Fighter 2, a little bit like Honda, if you know that game. So if any point Setsuki is next to me, and can be thrown, I will automatically throw her. But I'll lose it if I get hit. But right now, I'm feeling pretty good about this, because as you can see, I've got 3 hit points left. I've got empowered form. If I just get next to Setsuki, I'm going to win. But let's just replay that a little bit. Sorry, the sequence is a little bit long there. So gets the parry in a moment. There we go. And I'm like, try jump in that. There's me trying it. So I should have walked forward a little bit more. And then she's throwing kunai. I'm just trying to land next, but she's keeping me. I can't. So although I'm empowered, and she's keeping me in block stun, so that I can never actually attempt the throw, even though it'll automatically throw her. She's very smartly keeping off the floor. I try another parry, and then okay, I just got my super, and I go into dragon form to try and end this round. So I give up. I lose my empowered state to do that, of course. But it was I'd seen. Okay, I want to try and win it. That was a headbutt. We got a count. Let's see if I can see what happened there. This is quite interesting because Satsuki actually, yeah. So her dive kick actually is already out, and although I tried to use Dragon's headbutt move, which has got a really good hitbox on it, but obviously Setsuki was already in her dive kick, so actually out prioritizes me there, which is interesting. But I think yeah, I just do it again, and this time we get a trade. So tied on the first round. Now again, I was pretty happy about that because so yeah, I'm trying to. It's very hard for a lot of characters to deal with that headbutt move, so I'm kind of going for it a lot here. But yeah, I'm already pretty happy to have even traded around with Tidazi, to be honest. I don't think I've ever beaten her, so we've only played a handful of times before in the normal kind of normal matchmaking in the game. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to win this one, but you know, I'm trying to make a decent fight. Now, unfortunately, I went for the Dragon's kind of special throw there, but Tidazi's just like obviously much readier this matchup for me, so I'm just sort of doing Dragon things, but you can see immediately Tidazi's got this like, okay, I'm Setsuki versus Dragon Midori. What should I do? I'm going to keep in the air. Jumping, I don't know why that throw is it's completely bad idea for me. So I go for the grab, completely whiffs, and now I'm in huge amount of recovery, in with a big combo. There you go. That was the 4 damage combo I was talking about earlier. When Setsuki's got a super meter, she can go for jump, dive kick, then normal, and then I can't remember the exact combo, but yeah, she's 4 hit damaging me. And then on wake up, yeah, I tried to do an anti-air, but Setsuki had already thrown the kunai out. So we'll just have a last look at that. Yeah, so he gets the counter hit. That's because I'm mashing a dragon anti-air normal, which is his neutral A, to try and hit her out the air, but I hadn't realised that the kunai was already in the air, so I just hit straight into the fireball, essentially. So not looking so good for our hero Midori now. That was that's how you should use the dragon grab now. And I was pretty happy about that, because that was my last bit of dragon meter. And Midori is vulnerable as he comes out of dragon mode. He's got a few frames where he can't do anything, can't even block. So I was really trying to be careful to not get like I did not want Setsuki in my face as I came back out of dragon mode. So yeah, I was really kind of risky play there to go for that grab on the last bit of meter, but I figured like it's either going to work or I'm going to get punished anyway, so I went for it. I think this match actually got streamed. And so they actually commented on that, saying that was a really good play, and I was pretty pleased with it. So now I've got the hard knockdown. As you can see, I'm walking up with Midori, and I seem to remember, yep, I just go straight into the throw. So that's a true meaty throw, which is just all part of the mix-up. Again, when Setsuki, although she's got really powerful offensive options, when she's defending, she does not have too much. So she's just got to take, although you've got to take her mix-ups. If you get her on defense, you can do everything you want to her, and that's it. Yeah, unfortunately my spacing is bad here. Too much back. So I get the throw, I do a back throw, and then I try and do a sweep, and for some reason the positioning is such that my sweep does not catch her, so she's immediately pulling backwards. I think if I do this in the corner, or if I do perhaps a forward throw, this catches, but again you can see my sweep whiffs. And that's just a lack of knowledge from me. Again, I'm not the most experienced player of Fantasy Strike yet, but I'll be there one day. So that's just a thing where I'm trying to just do the standard one more damage if they're not ready to block that sweep after a throw. But again, I get the spacing wrong, so just completely whiffs. So now I'm probably, yeah, and she hits me. Her air-to-air moves are very strong against me. But there we go, parry. So that's Midori's parry. It's he doesn't have any kind of dragon punch kind of move, but I'm using it as a kind of anti-air there. So if I'm reading that Setsuki's going to come in with a air to ground attack, and if I parry at the right time, I'll hit back, and if I get it again, she can potentially not get hit by that after the hit after the parry. It's very much like a parry mechanic in other fighting games. So it does an automatic attack back. But yeah, depending on the spacing and the timing and all that, and whether that moves plus enough, she may be able to recover in time. But that point, she hit me high enough in the air that I get the finish. So 2-2. I'm feeling pretty good about this. That was an anti-air chop there. So that is his one anti-air from Midori. This rewind is for only 2 seconds, but 2 seconds is a very long time, Fantasy Strike. So yeah, I'm trying that. I'm trying to read a jump and trying to get the anti-air with that chop. And there we actually get it there. And then, yeah, managed to trade that. And again, now 2 hits. 1 throw from Midori does 2 damage. So I figured that Setsuki would be reading the throw. And so I just went for the combo for the damage. But no, she's blocking, ready for it. Now she gets in with a slide. And now I'm in this horrible loop. So, if you noticed before, Setsuki could keep me in the block stun for quite a long time. And then sort of do these those hooligan roll style mix-ups as well. So my idea here was to transform into dragon, see what she's doing, so that kind of freezes the game for a moment, much like in Street Fighter 5 when you do a V-trigger cancel. So I've seen this, and I figure, okay, she's trying to block, so I'm going to go for the dragon grab. Unfortunately, Tidazi's reaction's excellent there. You can still react to that. It beats most people when I use it online against people at my kind of skill level. That would normally work. That would be normally a good technique on how to win this fight. But Tidazi's reaction's there. She's obviously ready, waiting for that command grab attempt from me, and has already jumped, already gone to an air special flying fox move, and yep, and then lands the cross up into a combo. I mean that is not something you see an average player do. That is really good stuff. So she's not only been ready for the command grab, she's also ready with a max punish here. Gets the super, and now she's got the setup on me, and the dragon, again, this is where I'm actually disadvantaged being a dragon, because Midori, by standard, could at least have his parry move as some kind of defense, but the dragon's got none of that. So I'm basically eating this mix-up here, and as you notice, she'd gone for the throw. Many times she'd gone for roll throw. This time she goes to roll and then into the cape, and I jumped. And that's the win. And as you can see, I'm fairly disappointed about that, because I know I had the advantage there on that last round. It could have gone my way, but an excellent bit of play by Tidazi. So yeah, so this is interesting. So my Midori's lost there, right, from the team battle mode. but Midori can still come back and play. Whereas because the Setsuki has won on Tidazi's side, Setsuki's now out of this matchup. So we won't see her again. So again, it randomizes match 2. Gravis versus Rook. I'm pretty happy about this actually. Although I've lost this one many times, it's not a bad match for Grave. Although Tidazi is a Rook main, I believe, and I've always lost to her playing Rook. So, but yeah, that immediate wind is something I've kind of like learnt from watching some of the Grave players actually. I think Weezy uses that against me last time I played him. And I was like, that's really annoying. So this time I'm like, okay, I'm just going to immediately push you back. So Graves got a wind meter here, bottom of the screen. So he can't use his wind all the time. But this time I'm just going to go, so immediately start the round, I'm going to go, right, I'm going to push you back to get some space. So I jump backwards, wind, and then, yeah, so Tidazi was ready for the wind and then immediate fireball, but luckily for me I kind of went, okay, I'm going to play patient. I know Tidazi's a good player. She's going to be ready if I just spam fireballs. I have to be careful, watch, and then time it. So yeah, I saw the Rook jump and then did the fireball. And then we get another bit of tick damage here. So as you can see, there's a tick damage system in Fantasy Strike. You can block 2 special moves, and then the third one, if she blocks another special, this will actually take a full hit of damage. So I believe I'm expecting, yes, I'm trying to get that fireball in to do that third tick of damage. But then I actually get the normal hit in, so the damage gets hit off. And it's that block of energy's gone now, so the next block hasn't took tick damage. So tick damage can be scary in a way in Fantasy Strike, because you don't have many hit points, although Rook has the most in the game. So Rook has to worry about it the least. But yeah, it's not as threatening as it might seem at times. So now, okay, so this is what Rook's trying to do. Wants to jump one of my fireballs. Yep, as you can see here, and we'll just go through this slowly, and then goes for his air special C move, which is the earthquake move. Oh no, sorry, but in a moment now. Yeah, and I wasn't ready for that, so because I was on the ground, it hits me. It doesn't do any damage, but it knocks me down, and then Rook then uses the kind of power charge move. I can't remember the names of all these moves, I'm afraid, yet. But yeah, it goes in with the shoulder charge to get close to me. So it's not the next move Tidazi does is not intended to hit me. It's just to gain that ground quickly because it's slightly quicker than Rook's walk speed. And now I'm next to Rook and I'm waking up, which is what you do not want to be doing. Thankfully though, I go for a block, so I guessed correctly in this situation. If Rook had gone for a walk-up throw or a special throw or even the super, although he doesn't have super yet, I would have got thrown in this situation. And then the mix-up would have been even worse. Luckily I blocked correctly because I've played Tidazi before and I know she tends to go for the safe hit rather than throw setups to start with. But, oh no, hang on. I started blocking, but for some reason then stopped. What on earth was I doing? Yeah, I don't know. We saw myself in block throws. I think I was trying to block and then let go of block to try and counter a throw, but I've basically messed that up. That's some poor execution for me when I started blocking and then stopped blocking for some reason. Now it's the same mix-up again, and this time tick throw. So she's done a normal, and then if I try and continue to block or even jump away, gets me in the throw. So again, being next to Rook is really bad times. And there I try my wake up sword, which is invulnerable, but again, Tidazi's ready for this. Let's just watch this sequence again. Normal throw. That's a safe jump into the splash, and then I do the wake up sword. Now, that jump was so safe, I believe, even if I'd done my my Dragon Punch, my super move, it probably would have been safe as well. And against a weaker Rook, they'd probably do that jump, and they'd probably be immediately doing another move. So this sword would be a good idea. However, Tidazi's ready for it, blocks the sword, and then I'm in massive amounts of recovery, and punished for 3, dead. So, yeah, that is pretty much textbook. My face says it all. That's a textbook defeat for Grave there. Excellent stuff from Tidazi. Now, okay, that was quite sneaky. So again, starts off a lot better for this round. So I'm like, okay. Sat on the ground too much, got that earthquake hitting me, knocking me down was what started that whole bad sequence for me. So I'm trying to really go crazy with the jumping here to try and stay in the air, not let Rook get me on the floor. And luckily it works out pretty well, although that unfortunately hits too high. So Graves got a simple combo with jump A, and then normal A, and then fireball. But in Phantasy Strike, much like the older Street Fighter games, like Street Fighter 2, where your kick lands on them, whether it hits them high in the head or a deep hit, as they're known in fighting games, that will really affect like what combos you can get afterwards. So because this, so that one's a miss, and this one hits, but as you can see, it's hitting really, really high. So I try to land and do my standard combo of punch and then fireball, but Rook recovers in time to block it. And a fireball at this close range is also negative, so this is really bad news for me. So Rook's already moving in, and now again I've kind of messed up, and I've got to react. Luckily this time my guess is correct. So a very risky sword again, but again I'm kind of like willing to take some risks. So I got a bit of wind, push Rook back to the corner. I want to fireball. I did the big slow fireball there that makes it very hard for Rook to jump over it, but again this earthquake's coming, and again I don't react in time by jumping away. Rook does the same sequence again, so that's the earthquake and then the follow-up into the dash punch, and now again I'm in a terrible situation here. This time just rips the super, and as you can see I am not holding back, although from the look on my face I think I realised this was a mistake already, because I've already seen that pose from Rook is not looking like it's a move, it's looking like I'm walking backwards, which means she's going to block this. Yep. So again, Tidazi just ready for everything. Ready for my risky moves. And now she's out again, I'm in the mix-up, and I've got a block. And although, so this time, now this is a trick when you're playing Rook. One of his standard things he's going to walk up and do his special grab, which is his which you cannot Yomi counter, but you can jump out of it, but it will beat a lot of normal attacks as well. So it will take a hit of damage because it's got armor on it. So even if you wake up attack, some of the time it will get you. In this case, though, one thing you can do rather than jump away, because you can jump out of a Rook's special grab, you actually choose to jump towards Rook, which is absolutely kind of crazy. I actually had to get out the habit of neutral jumping command grabs, which is a thing from Street Fighter 5 that is quite a common situation. So here I do, but here you want to do a forward jump out of. If you read a command grab, and again I just gambled here. I'm like, well, I'm behind 6-1 in life. It's gonna worth it. I'm gonna take a chance. I'm just gonna jump forward. Luckily for me, it worked out well. Rook was in with a command grab. I got the cross up into a normal, into the fireball, 3 damage. So now I'm literally one combo off beating Rook now. But again, I tried to jump immediately afterwards, and again, Tidazi's matchup knowledge knows that okay, I've just got hit by this combo, but I'm immediately going to stick that big boot out and catches me. So again, I'm trying to jump more. Again, that nice delayed fireball. Don't just do the wind and then immediately spam fireball. Doesn't really work. And there you go. Okay, so that's another setup from Rook there. So again, Tidazi read the fireball from just the right range, did the command dash punch, which took the hit of the fireball, so she took the damage, as you can see, but again it knocked me down, and again I'm starting to have to play Rook's game now. Okay, I'm waking up, I think. Yeah, she's going for the, luckily I jumped away there, because again, if that punch, that slappy punch, that will pull you in towards Rook if it hits you, even if you block it. So again, I'd be really close, which is not where you want to be. But here I've remembered, generally with Rooks they're going to try and jump at you. So I'm trying to do my anti-air, which is actually my normal A punch, or if necessary I can use my super move, or sometimes you can use your sword as a kind of anti-air as well if you're really, really ready. But yeah, so you can see there, but Tidazi again isn't really trying to attack me from the air, she's just trying to get off that earthquake move to get the knockdown to start up all this game. And yeah, I'm going, as you can see, I'm just going kind of ham on the YOLO wake up options for Grave. So ultimate YOLO, do your super on wake up, and Tidazi was trying for the probably the safest option for Rook, which is just the sweep, but it still gets beaten by the Dragon Punch. And that wasn't a cross up, but again Tidazi, so after this super I've got a nice little setup where I go for a cross up hurricane kick. But great block from Tidazi. If you watch my other matches, you'll see I catch a lot of players with that. And I think I might get Tidazi later on in this match. Yeah, we go. So cross up, but again, going for the throw, didn't have it, and then I get the cross up, and I'm going to set up the cross up again. But again, good block. So Tidazi's seen this. I got a lot of mileage out of this it's kind of like a cross up loop basically. And if you are not familiar with the cross up mechanics, this can be a real nightmare for you to deal with from Grave. But Tidazi's experienced player, keeps out of it, but again I just keep jumping, and then that. So again, that was a case of hitting high with my jump, which gave me enough time to jump out of the throw. And yeah, got around. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. So again, this is a fight I wasn't expecting to win, but I was just happy to kind of be able to get some kind of game going again. Early win, waiting for the fireball, but this time, and unfortunately, yeah, I'm a bit too overdoing it a little bit, I suppose, with the air hurricanes, because that time, the air whirlwinds rather, this time it hit high, and I think that'll be minus on block at that positioning. So Tidazi knew that, went for the grab, and I couldn't do anything. I could have possibly Yami countered out of this grab. It depends how minus it is, because obviously if you're negative enough, you're in recovery and you can't do anything at all. You cannot Yami counter even though you're not pressing any buttons. Gets the normal grab, and normal grabs from Rook are the worst. So his super's pretty bad and his special grab's pretty bad, but if Rook gets you with a normal grab, the Oki setups are ridiculous. So what I mean by that is Rook is now right next to me and I'm on the floor, and Rook's got all day long to set up anything he wants to do. So his Okizemi is the hitting opponent when they're down, essentially, and using that advantage of having a knockdown. So yeah, again, you can see Tidazi's very well practiced going for that safe jump again. This time I don't even block it, I just eat the cross up. I can't imagine what I was trying. Probably trying to mash some buttons, or I was probably trying to jump away, hoping that the safe jump timing wasn't perfect. And I was trying to jump away into that. So okay, let's do this a little bit more. And again, I think that's another safe jump. So Tidazi's gone. Normal throw, safe jump, hits, and then another safe jump. So even, again, that timing is actually quite hard to do. So this is what happens when you see an expert player with Rook. Once you get close to them, they're really, really hard to deal with. Even with all the wake-up options that Grave has, it's still advantage to Rook. You're basically, it's kind of like, I suppose, Graves got a better chance of getting out of the Rook vortex as it is. So like most command grappler characters, once you get next to someone, you're in favour. It's kind of like a rock paper scissors where he wins 2 of the options out of 3. Although Rook can probably get a little bit better on that, because as I say, he's actually got a lot of wake up options that other characters don't have. In that he's got an invulnerable sword, he's got an invulnerable super, so he has got ways to get out. But yeah. And we go down to our final matchup, DeGrey versus Geiger. Geiger strangely jumping forward there. I had just won this matchup earlier, so I was feeling pretty happy about this. Now that's the key. If you get a fireball, so kind of a mess at the start. They're not quite sure what happens. Jumps over me. I'm just kind of pressing buttons here. And get hit by a fireball and follow up into the punch. Right, I'm using the ghost here to try and block a fireball from Tidazi, and the ghost actually wears out, so it doesn't do anything. But I've already jumped, so I'm anticipating a fireball to come just as the ghost wears off. And so I'm already jumping, and then Geiger will be in recovery, and then smash, bang bang, half his health gone already. So although as this Geiger is a very strong defensive character, if you get a read like that and you get in on him, one fireball, that's half his health gone, if you do it right. So yeah. This is all, so I'm trying to do frame traps here. A lot of these moves, so that was plus frames into plus frames into plus frames. So plus, and then that would have been minus, but Tidazi's chosen to jump out of there with Geiger trying to get out the corner, which is very smart. But again, I get the throw. Try its horrible ghost setup. So again, DeGrey's got a lot of nice mix-ups on a knockdown opponent. They're not the level of stuff that Rook can do to someone, but he can do some pretty nasty stuff. So throw into the corner, ghost. It looks like it's going to go. It looks like I'm going to land behind for a cross-up, but instead the ghost hits you in front. It's very hard to block that. Okay, so again, I've took my first actual lead in a match against Tidazi. That's pretty hard to do. Jump and then block that back fist. Probably should have been looking for my super actually here, because there's a lot of offense coming. I'm trying to bulldog into these fireballs, but it's not working. Then finally, I've read that there's a lot of jumping attacks coming. So DeGrey's got a kind of parry move here, where you see me flash green. And just in a second, so the fireball, the ghost eats that fireball, and then I walk up, and I'm expecting another jumping attack. Eat that fireball first. So I jump over this one. Now here, I'm expecting another jump after this. and I do my parry, or expecting a back fist. So I was expecting Tidazi's Geiger to land and go for a move there. So I try my parry, which would hit her back. But unfortunately, nope, nothing this time. It just walks up and throws me, which will beat my parry anyway. And now I'm in big trouble. Disgusting little mix-up there. So again, that's another trick you'll see a lot of Geigers use. It's basically a fireball move, and then walk up and throw instead. Hold on 1 second. Right, sorry about that. And then I just eat another meaty.
Perfect. Round 3. Fight.
So evened it up quickly. Again, nice little plus frames there, but I don't know why I'm backing away. I was probably expecting a flash kick there, which didn't come. So yeah, I'm using a move there called counterpoint step from DeGrey. So he does a backdash. I'll see it after the start of this. Ghost, pass, and then we do a back step, and then he can do different moves as he goes through from this. One of them is invulnerable uppercut kind of move. So I've kind of read that there might be a fireball coming, and I'm going to go through that fireball. You can see the gears about to hit me here, but I'm going to go through it and actually anti-air as well. So that's quite nice. Didn't believe in that hit. That's unfortunate. So got this hit. Jumped in. That was an attempt to bait a flash kick that Adazi does not bite on. So I then just do a meaty punch, and I could have easily done more damage in like 2 hits and all kinds of stuff in there and setups, but nope. Did not believe this hit was going to work for some reason. So I just kind of do the punch and then do into the dandy step, which is, I mean, some situations that'd be good, but right here I'm pretty annoyed with myself. I did not want to do that. And again, I've let Geiger out of the corner. But then that was a correct one. So when you get it blocked, it's pretty handy to go into the thing. So, and then all that plus frames. But again, Tidazi not biting on any of my frame traps. And this is his air super, which I believe works. Yeah. So let's see the setup. So, Geiger here is trying to do a fireball. I've gone back a bit too far. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and then I instantly, as I'm about to land, I do my air super. This actually catches DeGrey out of the startup, so it goes as a counter hit. Now, as I was saying at the start when I was describing the characters a little bit, DeGrey, if he gets a counter hit, does extra damage on his moves, or extra combo availability. This move does 3 damage if it counter hits, 1 if it hits normally. And here you'll see the pow, and you get a big counter hit, and now I've got again, lack of knowledge from me there. I'm sure there's a good setup I could have after that move hits, but I'm not really ready for the situation, and I just kind of let Geiger back off and then use the ghost, and a complete whiff there. So I finally get the flash kick that I've been baiting. Let's watch the sequence. Yeah, very poor, walking backwards, get the flash kick, and I've pressed back pissed, and I've completely missed my opportunity to easily take that round there and give myself a 2-1 lead, and instead DeGrey's backed off, he's got his air super out, he's basically completely safe right now. I can throw the ghost to kind of stop myself taking too much chip damage. Again, another mistake from Tidazi that goes unpunished by me, that throw. But do you get the justice kicks? So, do take the win anyway, despite me really letting Tidazi off the hook there. So not the best play. Again, I'm trying to jump at a place where I can bait the flash kick. Again, and not enough use. That was a big mistake. So I'd seen here I got hit by a lot of moves. I should have been doing the parry move. But yeah, so here I should have been using my super to parry these moves, but I'm not ready for it. And then I think that put me in the idea to do it, and I was trying to land, and I saw the flash kick here. So I jump over. Do that, and then I'm trying to. So my thought process on the stream, they said, "Oh, was this like a fat finger? Did I miss my input?" Kind of. So I jumped over, done my air B kicks, and then realised, hang on, Tidazi's whiffed a move, and I was trying to do my my air super, but obviously I'd already done 2 moves in the air, so you can't do 2 moves and then an air super. That's not going to work. So again, a complete mistakes by me here. Execution errors, lack of knowledge errors. I've wasted my super and I'm full screen from DeGrey, from Geiger. I am DeGrey. This is not good news for me now, but I'm gradually working my way, and that was an attempt to jump in and finally pulls the flash kick. And now again we're in a world of the world of pain from Geiger here, where he can safely do his air super, and he's going for a bit of chip damage there yet. So there, I blocked 3 fireballs, couldn't really get away from it. And I'm trying to set up to get that big jump in. I'm kind of taking some chances again. Taking chances, get the trade there, but yeah, that was just a bit of a kind of, I'm losing this round, I want to try and do something special. Maybe I get lucky and come back. That worked out nicely, so I kind of did a fake kind of cross-up attempt, where I just did a back jumping kick. That's a classic bit of Geiger action, where he does the fireball and then jumps to try and prevent you jumping over his fireball. He does a jump air kick, so that's really nice stuff. Misses that kick though. Again, there's definitely I don't think Tidazi's DeGrey is the strongest character for her, but she's still plenty good enough to give me a good match, as you can see. Finally get the air to air, but got a bit gung ho. If I just baited that flash kick there, this could have been a whole different match. And that's plus frames, but I kind of know I was going to go for something, so I used my parry in the middle of a string there. So get out of the plus frame setup from Geiger. Try and bait a flash kick. Again, I was kind of knowing if this flash kick comes out, I'm going to win this set. But very simple, Tidazi just jumps straight up. Goes for that minus, huge minus, and finally the flash kick to win it. And I knew I'd baited so many flash kicks to that point, but the last one is the right one. Tidazi is the winner. So yeah, anyway, that's a little bit of Fantasy Strike for you. If you enjoy this, give me a like, give me some comments, let me know, and I'll try and do some more videos like this. Maybe not even my matches, maybe some other matches. I've done it a bit for Street Fighter, so it's very fun to do this. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.